So now we're going to look at our next big O notation, which is O of n squared. So we're going to start this off with the code that we used in the last video, where we had a for loop followed by another for loop. But I'm going to change this, and we're going to remove the console logs, and we're going to nest one for loop inside of the other. And then our console log is going to be for I and j inside of the two for loops. So let's go over to DevTools, and there's our code, and we're going to call this with the number 10. So let's run this, and if we scroll up to the top, we start with 0, 0, and if we scroll to the bottom, we go to 99. So we output 100 items. So let's go back over here. The number of items that were output in this case is in times n, or n squared. And that's where we get our O of n squared. Now let's take our code and add one more thing to it, because I want to point out a thing that we do for simplifying this notation. Let's take our for loops one layer deeper. Then we'll console log out the variable for that for loop. And let's take a look at this in DevTools. Okay, there's our 3 for loops. Once again, we're going to call it with the number 10. And we'll run this. So we end in 999 at the bottom there. And if we scroll all the way to the top, we have 0, 0, 0. So we had 1,000 things that were output in this case. Let's go back over here. So we had n times n operations, or 10 times 10 times 10, since we passed it the number 10. So this is n cubed, which would be O of n cubed. But it doesn't matter if it's into the third, into the fourth, into the 10th. We are still going to write this as O of n squared. We're going to simplify this. So let's take a look at this on a graph. So if we had two sets of code that accomplished the same task, and one was O of n squared, and the other is O of n, the O of n code is better, because it's going to complete the task in fewer operations. So this is our first opportunity to see how it is that we could compare one code set against another. And O of n squared is generally considered an efficient code. If you can write your code in a way that is going to become O of n, it is going to be much more efficient. So that is O of n squared.